Hi, it's happy St. Patrick's Day and welcome back. We again want to apologize for the length between our videos. As we stated on our last video, we've been having a lot of camera issues with sound and such. If you've watched some of our last videos, I'm sure you've noticed. So we did go out and buy a new camera and we're very excited. So we're going to try some other videos. Today I'm going to show you how to make the easiest corned beef and cabbage. Went to Walmart a couple weeks ago and I picked up this almost 5-pound corned beef. People may not know, but corned beef does come in two different styles. One is flat cut, which is what I've got here. I don't remember what the other particular, I want to say iron cut maybe, but I'm not positive. Point cut, I think you're right. But we went with flat cut this year. So we are going to be making that. In a little while, I'm going to show you how I make my cabbage. I already got it pre-cut. I do cut it in strips here, and I've got it shoved in my pan. I fill my pan as much as I can because that will cook down significantly once I do get it started. And the last thing, well, one of the last things we are also going to make, and I think I've featured these before in a video, is some Little Potato Company potatoes. These come in a variety of flavors. So these are garlic and parsley. They're very easy to make. These ones can make in the microwave. And they always come out very tasty. So it's going to be quite a while before I show you those. We're going to go ahead and get started on our corned beef. I'm going to cut this bag open here. Alright, so I did get my bag of corned beef open and I'm done fighting with it, hopefully. You see the corned beef does come with a package of seasoning. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. Then we're going to take our corned beef out and we're going to stick it in this big stock pot here. And I like to get as much of the corned beef blood in there as I can. It does add lots of extra flavor in there. And we're going to stick this over here in the sink for a second. See all the corned beef and goo down in there. Then I'm going to rinse off my little packet here. And I'm going to get this open. And I only use usually about half a package. I don't ever use the whole thing. I'll put it where you can see it a little bit better, sitting right there on top of the corned beef. That's all the flavoring I do put in with my corned beef. Some people do it different. It's all up to you. And I have a package of 50% less sodium beef broth here. Corned beef is a very salty meat as it is, so I try to lower the amount of salt if I can. And I'm going to take this whole container and just pour it in here with my corned beef. The trick to it is you want to get the corned beef covered as much as you can. As you can see, one 32-ounce or 2-pound box of that almost covers up my whole corned beef. So I'm just going to put just a little bit of water in there with it.
I can smell it.
The trick is you don't really want to dilute the broth too much. So that's good enough. Got a little bit of water mixed in there with it. And I'm going to put it on my back burner here. Turn it on to high and we're going to let that get to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, I'm just going to cover it up with my lid. And we're going to let that then I'll turn it down to a simmer and we'll let it simmer for about 2.5 to 3 hours. Alright, my corned beef has started to boil. As you see, I did move it to a different burner to make it a little bit easier for me to get to. I am cooking it with the fat side up. That way the fat can melt and render down into the sauce and the meat. Makes it a little bit more tender. We're going to go ahead and put the lid on there. And we're going to turn this way down to about 4 and let it simmer, as I stated earlier, for about 2.5 to 3 hours. We'll come back and check it about 2 hours or so and see how it's going. All right, my timer has gone off that the corned beef has been simmering for about 2 hours now. I'm gonna go ahead and take the lid off. I don't know if you can see down in there. You can see the waters, the broth and stuff is cooked down a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and poke it. It's still a little tough. I'm gonna put just a little bit more beef broth in there with it, just to get it back up a little bit. There we go. That should do it. We're gonna put the lid back on. I'm gonna turn it back up a little bit, bring it back up to a little bit more of a boil, so I can turn it back down to a simmer. And we're gonna give it, like I said, it's 2.5 to 3 hours. It's been 2 hours now, so we're gonna let it cook for probably about another 45 minutes, at which point we'll come back and start our cabbage. Okay? All right, so it's been about 40 minutes more now. I've gone ahead and checked my meat. It's pretty tender. I can go ahead and pick it up with my fork here. And I'm gonna stick it on my plate. We're gonna go ahead and get it covered up with some foil.
Oh, that's good and juicy. Oh, that's good and juicy.
Let it steep a little bit here. And while we're going to do that, we're going to go ahead and start our cabbage. I'm going to do something a little different here. I was going to cook the cabbage in the pan that it's in and pour this juice in here, but it's just going to be easier to just take this cabbage and put it in the meat juice so that some of the seasonings and the meat flavor cook into the cabbage. So we're going to get it down into this pan. Plus the water's still already boiling a little bit. So we're gonna get that in there. Go ahead, take the rest of the beef broth, put it in with the cabbage, and make a mess. Won't be one of my videos if I don't make a mess. You can see the meat stuff that's on the sides and all that. We're gonna cook some of that into the cabbage. Gonna put the cabbage here, put a lid on it. Turn the temp up a little bit and get that boiling, and then we'll let that boil. Once that happens, we'll simmer it for about 10-15 minutes. The next thing I'm going to do, after I wipe up my mess here, is I'm going to go ahead and get our potatoes going. As I stated, these are really easy to do. You just simply pull the cover. Maybe. It's always simpler when you're not trying to film it.
Put it down on the counter there.
Pull it back. Take the seasoning packet out. Set it aside. Take the packed potatoes just like that. Leave the cover on it. Put it in the microwave. 5 minutes.
I had a dream last night that Grandma...
My potatoes have beeped. I'm going to go ahead and take them out of the microwave. Open it up a little bit. And you take just a little bit of olive oil. Sprinkle it in there with them, just a little bit. That's all you need. They're sizzling. You take your seasoning packet. Sprinkle it on your potatoes. Spoon. Stir it around a little bit, get the flavor on the potatoes. Mix it up as much as you can. Cover them back up. Let them sit till you're ready to serve. All right, so we did have one more thing cooking for our dinner. I have some carrots and onions here. We have made this as a video before, so that's why I didn't really go too much into that detail today. So if you do want to watch that video, it is on our channel. You can locate it there. We're going to go ahead and get our corned beef sliced up here, or at least attempt to. It is indeed juicy. You can see the juice running out of it. You can hear it squishing as I cut it. That's how you know it's a good corned beef. Gotta hear the squish. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get our dinner plated up. Our cabbage has finished. I'm gonna go ahead and get a scoop of it here. Move it over so where you can see it a little bit. You can see the pieces of the corned beef in there. That's how the cabbage picks up the beautiful beef flavor. And we're gonna go ahead, put a slice of corned beef on there. A little bit of carrots and onions. A little bit more onions and carrots there. Just like that. And some potatoes. And that is our St. Patrick's Day dinner, guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We're gonna eat. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day.
And you're being recorded. Keep that in mind. This is going to be used for evidence someday.